The pump clicked off too early. That sound, dry, impatient, always does something to me. Like the world reminding me it controls the flow. I was screwing the cap back on when my phone vibrated. Not a ring. A vibration. Insistent. Private. Thanksgiving, the message preview said. I didn't open it yet. Across the forecourt glass, I caught my reflection. Grease-smudged sleeves. Cheap jacket. The uniform of invisibility. That was the point. I liked being underestimated. It kept people honest. Then laughter. Sharp. Familiar. I looked up. He was leaning against a black SUV, expensive and loud about it. My former boss. The man who used to call me family when it suited him. The man who signed my termination letter with a smile so thin it cut. "Well," he said, eyes crawling over me. "Would you look at that?" He gestured at the pump. "This is where people like you end up." People like you. I felt the old instinct, heat, defense, shame try to rise. I buried it. I had trained myself for this. Years of swallowing. Years of watching. Behind me, under a protective tarp, the curves of the vintage Bentley slept quietly. Polished chrome. British restraint. Waiting. He didn't see it yet. My phone vibrated again. This time I opened it. A voice message. My daughter-in-law. Loud, casual, cruel in the way only family can afford to be. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." She shouted over background laughter. I stared at the screen. Then I smiled. And replied with one word. "Enjoy." Betrayal never announces itself cleanly. It leaks. In jokes. In invitations that aren't really invitations. In laughter you're meant to overhear. I used to believe loyalty was a shared language. That if I showed up, worked hard, kept my head down, it would be returned. At work, in family, in marriage. I was wrong in all three. My boss had called me brilliant right up until the day his nephew needed my position. Then I was replaceable. My son had married ambition wrapped in perfume, and I had mistaken her hunger for warmth. And my wife, I don't think betrayal hurts because of what they do. It hurts because of how calmly they do it. The first crack came months earlier. A glance that lingered too long. A phone turned face down too quickly. Late meetings that smelled like someone else's cologne. I didn't accuse. Accusations are for the desperate, I observed. I learned who spoke over me, who laughed when I was silent, who decided I was small enough to step on. My daughter-in-law's message wasn't about dishes. It was about hierarchy. You are beneath us now. My former boss's laughter wasn't about success. It was about relief. They had both rewritten me in their minds, reduced me to something manageable, something finished. They didn't know I had already started writing my own version. I moved carefully. That's how you survive among predators who think you're prey. I pulled phone records. Quietly. I learned the patterns of absence. Tuesday nights, every third weekend, hotels near the old office park. I ran numbers. Not just money, timing, opportunity. Who benefited when I disappeared from rooms? I smiled at my daughter-in-law's dinners. Complimented the food. Washed dishes without complaint when I was invited. I watched her eyes. Always measuring. Always counting. I let my former boss see me struggle. I took a temporary job. I wore clothes that told the story they wanted to hear. I let him believe he had won something permanent. At night, I sat with my grandfather. He never asked why I needed the Bentley hidden. He just nodded. Old money understands silence. "People show you who they are," he said once, staring out at the Alps. "The trick is believing them the first time." I ordered a DNA test, not because I doubted biology, because I doubted honesty. The waiting was the worst part. Not fear, anticipation, the slow tightening of certainty. I already knew. My body had known for months. Still, I needed proof. Evidence is how you end things without screaming. The envelope was thin. It always is. Paper has no weight when the truth is already sitting in your chest. I read it once, then again, just to admire the precision of it. Percentages, markers, clinical certainty. Not mine. I invited my wife to sit. No accusations, no raised voice. I placed the report on the table between us. She didn't touch it. She didn't have to. Her face collapsed in stages. Defiance first, then confusion, then the kind of grief reserved for people caught lying to themselves. "It didn't mean anything," she whispered. I nodded. That's what people say when it meant everything. Later that day, I forwarded photos. Not to her. To my daughter-in-law. A lakeside villa in Switzerland. White stone, glass, mountains reflected like witnesses. My grandfather's Bentley in the drive. No caption. Within minutes, my phone began to ring. Once, 10 times, 50, 71 calls. I didn't answer. I returned to the gas station a week later. Same pump, same jacket. My former boss was there again. This time he saw the Bentley. His laughter died mid-breath. That yours? He asked, too quickly. I met his eyes. No, I said. Then I smiled. It belongs to my grandfather. 800 million reasons you shouldn't have fired me. His face went pale. Blood-abandoning ship. I handed him a folder. Contracts, acquisitions, his company's upcoming buyout. My signature at the bottom. I kept your job, I said calmly. For 6 months. Long enough to see how you treat people you think are finished. He tried to speak, failed. Across town, my daughter-in-law posted apologies, dressed as gratitude, invitations, love she had never practiced. I declined all of it. My wife packed her things in silence. I didn't stop her. Power isn't loud. It doesn't beg to be seen. It waits. I sold the company, let my former boss keep a title with no teeth. I transferred assets into trusts no one could touch. I moved into the villa full-time. Sometimes my phone still rings. I never answer. Not because I'm angry, because anger requires attachment. They thought I was small. They thought I was finished. They were wrong about the most important thing. I didn't crush them to feel big. I walked away because I already was.